Hey everyone, welcome to another outdoor Intrigue adventure. I thought this was as good a time as any to give you a little intro to what we're up to this evening. So we're headed up Beinn Ime for a wild camp. Beinn Ime is the highest of the hills in the Arrochar Alps. So Megan kindly dropped me off down at the bottom by Arrochar, and we're a little way up now, 430 meters up. Come up the tourist track. Going to head straight up all the way to the summit, find a spot up there to pitch up the tent, and then take it easy, see what we get. The weather forecast is looking very cold. It's pretty chilly right now, and it looks like it's going to be getting down to -6, -7 air temperature with wind chill, something like -15, -16. So it's already very cold in the wind itself. So it should be interesting. Got some warmer gear with. I've brought out a new tent as well. I'll tell you about that saga, let you know what happened there. And yeah, I think we best get our skates on. So we've got our water, and we're a decent ways up, but still plenty to go. We're obviously going to start losing the light in the not too distant future, so just got to keep on moving basically. It's getting very cold up here. But yeah, we're good. Got our water. So yeah, we're just through the Beinn Ime between these sort of three hills here. Ime, Arthur and Beinn. And we dropped out the wind for a little bit, and it is very nice. It's just really nice and cold and crisp. Beautiful views all around. You can see Beinn Ime in front now. There he is. Absolutely stunning evening. Late afternoon really, but this time of year it might as well be evening. And yeah, out the wind is cracking. In the wind is so cold. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we find in terms of a pitch. I wanted to pitch in the light, but in my classic style of set off much later than I should have really. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. We either pitch lower down, we're up around 700 meters now. We either pitch lower down in the light, or we just keep on going and might lose the light by the time we get there, but it's not the end of the world, is it? Wow, those colours are beautiful. Take a look at this. I just thought I'd have a quick chat to you, quick little natter before we lose the light too much. Not long until a head torch is needed really. Just coming up for just going 20 past 4 now. So sunset about 28 minutes ago. Still got plenty of light to walk by for the minute, and we're coming up on just over 850 meters of ascent done. Well, not ascent done, but that's how high we are, nearly 900 meters done. And so only just under a couple of hundred left to the summit. And unless I see a good spot before the summit, I think we'll pitch right up on the summit itself, hopefully. It's the summit just up over there. You can see it's a bit icy underfoot here. Here's your views. Pretty dark now. just show you guys quickly where we're pitched up. There's the summit mound just there, and there's us. It's definitely not a perfect pitch. It's my first time pitching the Akto, so, and it's really cold up here. It's try not to blind you, but it's -6 I think out here now. It's -4 in the tent, so I just wanted to also have a chance to warm up in a second. So yeah, wanted to get it all pitched, and we're in a really exposed spot. I mean, we're right up on the summit here. Incredible view. You can see obviously we're on the highland borders here, so this is the Southern Highlands, right on the Highland fault line, and you got all lights off that way, and then lights off that way, and then just darkness up that way. But yeah, so I mean, it's very firmly down, like we're not going anywhere, but this is very twisted. I couldn't quite get this right. You can see there's kind of an angle there, so I needed to have that side, I guess, slightly further back. I might still be able to change this peg, but it's a pretty decent pitch overall. Like, you can see we're not going anywhere. So I'm going to need to get in the tent in a sec because I'm absolutely freezing. My water's all... Luckily it's not solidly frozen. It's just this top section, and obviously you can see it's frozen up here as well. It's very cold. So I'm gonna pour some of that to make a cup of tea. Starting to warm up a bit now in here, but yeah, I think a tea is needed. Still around -6 at the moment. I warmed up nicely, had a cup of tea and warmed up a bit in there. Although being back out here is making me cold again very quickly, so jump back in. I think it's time to make dinner now as well. Right, time to boil some water to make some dinner. The problem we've got is the water's trying to freeze solid, although luckily it's not completely frozen. It's kind of like a sludgy ice at the moment. But what it has done is tried to freeze closed where the lid is, and actually freeze the lid on itself as well. But luckily it's still turning just. It's fun to pour from. You not getting a great water flow at the moment. Not getting any water flow at the minute now. All right, I'm gonna have to sort that out. Right. I have got a knife hook, I'm just not sure whether I want to use it on this. Ridiculous, isn't it? It's very cold. So we got Thai red curry for dinner, real termat. Really good, these. The real termat meals are incredible. I think we nearly got a boil already. They are my faves. They're really tasty, and that's a good one. I've had it before. So yeah, I'm gonna have some dinner and a cup of tea. Warming up a bit in here now. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's warm, but I'm warmer. It's a nice thing you can sit with a quilt. They're quite flexible, so with a sleeping bag it's harder to kind of move it around you and use it in this kind of way, like a blanket. Not that you can't, it's just a little bit harder. But with a quilt, you've got that flexibility, which is really quite nice sometimes when you're sitting around and you want to just pull it and move it around. So that's exactly what I've done. But obviously this is the time of year where sometimes a sleeping bag can come into its own as well, because you don't have any drafts, you don't get any heat loss. So when you really want to keep all that warmth in with you, a sleeping bag, obviously you've got a better guarantee of not losing heat. Whereas with the quilt, you know, you can still get drafts, and you will sometimes get some degree of heat leaking out. But yeah, personally I like it. I've got the warmer quilt out tonight. This is by an American company called Cedar Ridge Gear, and it's brilliant. It weighs about 680 grams, but it's an impeccable quilt. It's got a lot of very nice down in it, and I find it to be extremely warm, to the point where most of the year I don't really use it until it really is like winter conditions like this or colder, and then it's very nice to have it. Food's just rehydrating, so looking forward to that, and got my tea here, so I'll have that as well. But I thought I'd just chat to you about the tent situation, because it's an interesting one, really. Well, at least it's an interesting one in the sense of if you're into tents and wild camping. But the last couple of times I've been out, and you might at this point, if you're watching this, be watching one of the videos of the last 2 solo outings that I've done. And if you haven't, then maybe go check them out. But I was using the Terra Nova Laser Compact 1. And I'd only just got it recently. I wanted a one-person tent. I haven't had one for a while, because me and Megs just always go together in the last however many years. And yeah, obviously with her injury and stuff, it's been more kind of opportunity for me to get out on my own, and it's lovely because I do enjoy it, and that is how I started getting into it many years ago as well. So it is really nice. But I found I thought a pretty good deal sort of on the Terra Nova Laser Compact 1. It's a good weight overall, about 1.1 kilogram, and it packs very small, hence the compact in the name. So the poles fold really small, so it doesn't take up a lot of pack size. And I've had Terra Nova tents, and we've currently got 2 other Terra Nova tents, and it was online for about 370 quid, which is, you know, it's not cheap, but it's not insanely priced either. And so I thought, well, let me give it a go. And my first impression was pretty positive. You know, it's reasonably well built. Like a lot of the Terra Nova tents, they are pretty well put together and stuff. And I kind of thought, well, hopefully we can make a go of this. I could see that for some of the mountain weather that I wanted to use it for, I was going to have to probably make a few changes, which namely would be the guy lines. So adding a few, and kind of seeing if we could make it a little bit more sturdy in that regard. But I wasn't too worried about that. I thought, okay, we'll add a little bit of weight, but we'll probably still be coming in around 1.2 kilograms, which is fine. I'm not too fussed. And on the first outing, I was pretty happy with it. It pitched all right, and it made a lot of noise, which, you know, some tents make more than others, but it was quite considerable. But I was still kind of okay with it. And then on the second outing, we had reasonable wind, but honestly, it's nothing for Scottish mountains. It was nothing. And yeah, there was a lot of strain put on the door, and you could say maybe I was pitching it in a sense that was putting too much strain on it. So maybe that was too taut a pitch on that area or something. But feels like there's a design flaw there as well, because really you'd hope that they'd put something in place that like on the Hilleberg I'm sat in right now, which I'll tell you about, where the door has kind of a join going across to the closest point so that it helps to reduce some of the tension on that zip and stitching. So with the Terra Nova, it didn't. And after just my second use of it, I found that the door zip and the stitching just at the top of it was starting to come away already. And so I was pretty disappointed by that, to the point where I just returned it. And also maybe I was trying to be a pain with the lower weight but harsher weather that I wanted the tent to deal with as well. And I've often thought about Hillebergs, because who hasn't, if you're into this kind of thing? But I've never owned one. 2 factors that have always kind of been issues. One is the price of them, and I don't mind spending money on gear. I spend probably way too much money on gear, but it always seemed a lot of money for one single tent. And the other thing is the weight, because really they aren't the lightest tents. You know, they are light potentially for what they're capable of, but you can get lighter tents, and when you're really looking at weight, then it can be sometimes a bit of an issue with Hillebergs. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to go for it. So I found an Akto
a brand new Akto that was available in this lovely red. And I thought, let's give it a little bit of a diet, see what we can cut weight wise. And I managed, I think when I first got it, I've got the statistics somewhere, but it was about 1.75 kilograms. And I changed all the guy lines for lighter weight Dyneema guy lines, which have a higher brake strain than the actual Hilleberg ones. Changed their massive line locks for little tiny line locks, actual line locks, you know, the official ones. So they're just as good, really. They're just a lot smaller. Changed that out, took the peg bag out, the pole bag out, and the tent bag out. Changed those for Dyneema bags, like carbon fiber ones that weigh very little, like between 10 and 4 grams. Yeah, cut all of the zips off, replaced those with Dyneema pulls, and the corner sort of metal rings for the corner pegs. Cut those off, replaced those with Dyneema. And I think that's pretty much most of the changes I made off the top of my head. But we've got it down to 1.5 kg. So we're just over, I think we were like 1,540 maybe. But yeah, so we've saved over 200 grams. And I'm confident I'm going to get it to 1.5. So I think total I'm going to save about 250 grams, which is hugely impressive. But first impressions on this tent is, wow, the build quality is something else, isn't it? Really is. Hugely impressive. I mean, they charge you for it, but it's something. I guess, as with most things in life, you get what you pay for. So yeah, anyway, thought I'd tell you that little update. Time to have some dinner. I'm tucked up pretty warm. Getting some really strong gusts coming through now. Really rattling the tent when they hit. It's really strong gusts. It'll drop right off for a minute. Nothing. The consistent wind speed's not too bad, but when some of the gusts hit where we are, we're exposed. I'll show you in the morning. We're right here on the edge of this sort of precipice by the summit, and yeah, it's giving it a good old rattle. Just coming up towards sunrise in the not too distant future. It's very, very cold. Very beautiful, very cold. Tent's frozen. Well, we made it through the night. I don't think there was ever any question whether we would or not, but the wind gusts did get pretty strong there for a while, didn't they? So it made it a bit more interesting. Obviously made it a bit harder to sleep at first, but I definitely got some kip. Actually, I haven't checked my watch to see what it thinks, but I'll have a look. My watch reckons 3 hours. I feel like I had more than 3 hours, to be perfectly honest. I think my watch is lying to me.
But it's lovely, beautiful, cold, clear morning and really freezing, but just stunning. The best part about waking up from a really cold, windy night is getting a gorgeous, clear sunrise, and it kind of just instantly makes you feel, wow, just amazing, lifts the spirits. You're like, yes, well worth it. And now what I'm going to do is, got the burner out, got the gas down here somewhere in the quilt, so I'm going to make some coffee, of course. The most important way to start your day. Everyone, start your day with a coffee. Just packing everything away in here. That's my quilt, my pillow and my down booties all packed into there. I'll add my down jacket into that once I'm ready to. I might set off in it because it's freezing and then take it off once I'm out the wind a little bit. There's the mat, got head torch and stuff packed away. That's all my food kit packed up as well, so I just got to get it in the bag there. You can see it's really beautiful outside now. Sun's up, so that's lovely. So yeah, just got to get everything packed up so we can head on out. Wind's really strong again now. Got to get the tent down, everything else is packed. Got to get that tent down, packed away, so we can head off. Try and drop out of this wind a little bit because it is cold. Well, I thought it was a good time to say goodbye to you guys because I'm not too far from the bottom now. Probably about half an hour, maybe a little bit more. But Megs is heading over to pick me up, so I better get my skates on moving down that way. It's been a really awesome wild camp though. I hope you've enjoyed it because I really have. I thought it was stunningly beautiful. Just looking at the rock formation behind me, he's always eye-catching, isn't he, the cobbler? First test of the Akto, really enjoyed that. It was absolutely Baltic up there in the wind. So yeah, good test of all sorts of gear and just in general, you know, the mindset and the skill set to be in those kinds of conditions. And cracking views this morning, wasn't it? Really beautiful. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I really hope you guys have too. And obviously if you've got any questions about anything at all, then just leave them down in the comments below. And if you do like the content and you're coming back to watch things regularly, then do think about subscribing because we really appreciate it. That's kind of the end of it, I guess. Let's wrap it up there. Hopefully get home and have some more coffee. Seems to be all I ever want is coffee. But yeah, out of the brutal wind down here at least, which is nice. It was cold. Plenty of ice on the way down as well. Kept the spikes on for quite a while coming down there. Yeah, cracking though. What a good start to the day, eh?